Republican chaos now directly jeopardizing Israel's sovereignty and the national security of the United States. All that and more now on Graph's Grievances. Israel pleading with the United States for more weapons as the under siege nation calls upon a record number of reservists to fight against Hamas. For 4 days now, the terrorist group has fired thousands of rockets into Israel, severely straining the country's defense forces and killing hundreds of Jewish people. Many outlets reporting that not since the Holocaust have more Jews been murdered in a single day. And after initially being caught off guard, Israel now saying they have hit thousands of targets in Gaza in retaliation for the terrorist attacks. Israel strikes into Gaza, killing hundreds of Palestinians. But in order to keep up the fight against Hamas, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country needs more support from the United States. Since 2016, the US has provided Israel with around $30 billion in military aid, more than to any other country since World War II. This extraordinarily generous amount of support from the American taxpayers, part of a record 10-year, $38 billion deal signed by Democratic President Barack Obama during his first term in office. And whether or not you are in favor of increasing support for Israel during their greatest time of need, Congress can't even debate the issue because of Republican intransigence. The GOP-controlled House of Representatives now without a speaker for a week, since Republicans ousted their leader, Kevin McCarthy. And until a new Speaker of the House is chosen, Congress is paralyzed. This meaning that the lower chamber, which is responsible for all government spending, cannot pass additional military aid for Israel, not to mention fund the United States government. So irrespective of what Republican lawmakers and 2024 GOP presidential candidates may say, it is because of the outright dysfunction in their party that Israel's sovereignty is at risk. And while President Biden is doing everything he can to surge military support to Israel, his hands are essentially tied because only Congress can authorize additional spending. The inability of the Republican-controlled Congress to immediately respond to the unfolding crisis in Israel should be a massive wake-up call for the American people. Just imagine, God forbid, America was directly under attack. Republicans are showing us once again they are not serious about governing and cannot be trusted to keep America and her allies safe. And it really pains me to draw this conclusion because I know there are good, decent Republicans in the House and Senate who genuinely want to aid Israel and fund our federal government. But the House GOP is now controlled by a rather small, radical group of people who seem to only want to create chaos. They have no discernible governing philosophy. And the devastating havoc they have wrought on the American political system, akin to what you would imagine of a malicious foreign agent. Which brings us to the United States Senate. While the upper chamber is controlled by Democrats, one Republican senator, Tommy Tuberville, is blocking hundreds of U.S. military promotions and imperiling America's national security. Tuberville's months-long blockade, critically including top U.S. military officers who would command forces in the Middle East and oversee America's response to the current crisis in Israel. And while the Alabama senator says his hold on military promotions is due to his disagreement with the Pentagon's policy that reimburses service members and their families seeking abortions out of state, that explanation does not hold water. Back in July, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer offered Tuberville a standalone vote on repealing the Pentagon's abortion policy, and Tuberville balked. So, what is it really about? A group of Republicans in Washington are intent on crippling America's armed forces and endangering the freedom and prosperity of the American people. Meanwhile, their feckless GOP colleagues in the House and the Senate sit by as passive accomplices, allowing America's light to dim rapidly. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.